Welcome back to Blake's Takes, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode. As always, with me, my co-host Garrett.
Hey guys.
And today, the moment y'all been waiting for, our review of Invincible Season 2, Part 2.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on that shit.
Honestly, that's going to come up, I feel like, frequently during this review and my thoughts of Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a fan of that.
Dude, to be honest, like when we're doing this review of the whole thing now, like I might need you to refresh me on some stuff from Part 1.
Oh, 100%. I don't even know how much we're going to be able to
talk about Part 1. Yeah. No, like honestly, I feel like I'm mainly going to be able to comment on my thoughts of Part 2.
You know what? Let's just talk about it. So we're going to go through each episode of Part 2, building up to the finale. But yeah, was not a fan of Part 2. And honestly, from my point of view, I think it hurt Part 2 a little bit. That 4-month break.
Oh yeah,
I think it hurt Part 2. And again,
it hurt the hype. It hurt the storytelling. Like,
yeah,
bro, why did we have to wait 4 months?
I don't know.
I blame Amazon, bro.
Yeah, that was just not.
Amazon's like, let's string them along for 4 more months, make them pay for their subscription.
Yeah.
And guess
make
what?
Them watch ads.
Now you got ads.
Yeah, now you got ads.
So I think that was nothing but a money grubbing move.
As we said on the Escape Pod podcast, Amazon was getting whored out.
No, Invincible was getting whored out for Amazon.
Was getting whored out for Amazon.
Yeah.
You're right. Mm-hmm. So overall, thoughts on Invincible Season 2, Part 2, what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
9.1.
9.1. Wow. I was going to say 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Was Invincible Season 2 better than Season 1?
No.
I agree. I'm still going to go Season 1.
Season 1. While Season 2 was great. I enjoyed it a lot.
Like we just said, 9 out of 10.
But bro, just like that initial story and like the betrayal, it was like the mystery of figuring out, why Omni-Man did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's what made, Season 1 so good. And then just leading up to the fight between father and son.
Yeah.
Like that.
Also a very narrow focus in Season 1 as well.
Yes.
I thought there was a lot happening in Season 2.
Which is good. Like it's good that I like that they're doing that because it's expanding the universe a lot.
And creating more storylines.
Yes. Like honestly, I will say that's one thing I think Invincible does very well is they open the door to a lot of storylines and they don't like forget about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they always follow up with what they have going on in the universe. And if they didn't do it this season, they have, shit that is coming for next season.
Yes. But yeah, there was a lot going on. And I do think that 4-month break, this is where it comes into play. And I think hurt the storytelling in Season 2, because when it came to, our main antagonist for this season, Angstrom.
Yeah. Angstrom Levy.
Yeah.
Or Levy, whatever.
We get him in the first episode of Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
We get him some in a few other episodes of Part 1, but that whole Part 2, we don't see him until the very end.
Yeah.
So I thought that really hurt the build-up for the antagonist in this season.
Yeah.
And again, that 4-month hiatus, I don't see the point in that.
There was no point.
No.
There was not.
And I think that hurt everything that was happening in the second half of Season 2.
Yeah. And dude, to be honest, like I knew I was going to watch this show, but that 4-month break literally left like a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to watch it because you made me wait 4 months.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch it until that final episode came out. So I could binge it. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I waited 4 fucking months. When I start watching this again, I want to finish it. I'm not waiting any longer for my mind to be, resolved on Season 2.
It had to digest Part 1.
Yeah, I didn't have to digest shit. I was ready for episode 5.
Yeah, I didn't. That's what they said, right? That we had to digest.
Yeah,
that was their reasoning.
That was their first excuse.
What was the second excuse?
Dude, there were so many different. They gave so many different reasons as to why there was this 4-month break.
Because they didn't want to say, oh, it's because we're going to add ads to Amazon.
And we're going to make more money off you.
Yeah.
Which is the real reason.
Yeah.
Because they literally admitted themselves, dude, they should have just lied and said that it wasn't complete yet. They should have just lied and said the animation wasn't done.
Yeah, because then everybody like, okay, fine, finish it because we want it to be good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If that was the excuse, everyone would be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But no, they couldn't even give us a real reason.
And to be honest, like when we're saying this, it's not like we have hatred for Invincible. Any animosity towards Invincible. These are literally business moves from Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's not.
No, and I don't
Invincible's
I don't think it had anything to do with the creators of the show either.
Right.
I think that's Amazon,
being Amazon.
Yeah.
Being a streaming company.
Exactly. Yeah.
Streaming, that's a whole nother thing. I think streaming has done a lot of harm to
it's
to
done
the
a lot of
television world.
damage, bro.
I think it has. Even to movies, even with, physical media, we're kind of getting off track. But, very recently, Francis Ford Coppola's Megatropolis film, no one's been wanting to pick it up because it's supposedly going to need $100 million more for the marketing. And, because it is such a experimental film, apparently too experimental from what the studios are saying. No one's been wanting to pick it up, and it's going to premiere at the Cannes Festival, where it will be competition for whoever wants to pick it up, which studio wants to pick it up.
Yeah.
But it's like moments like these where physical media really used to come in and save some movies on the back end. Like, you know what? Okay, maybe this movie won't do so well at the box office, but we still have the DVD sales to fall back on. Like, some DVD sales were crazy, like $100 million plus.
Yeah.
And they can't really rely on that anymore.
Yeah, it has to be on a streaming service now for them to make any kind of money.
So it's really changed how studios are thinking. So yeah, streaming has done a lot of harm.
Yeah. Anyway, continuing.
Right. So overall, though, still a fantastic season.
Yeah, no, it's so freaking good. And I've seen some people say that season 2 was mid. In no way did I feel that at all.
No, not at all.
This 100% held up to season 1.
Yeah. Again, I think season 1 was better, but
not by much.
Not a mid-season at all.
No.
Invincible still has been peak fiction, as well as The Boys. I feel like those are two shows that if you like Invincible, you'll like The Boys. If you like The Boys, you'll like Invincible. So yes, let's go through the episodes. Let's talk about it. So episode 5, following the Viltrumites' attack, Mark spends 2 months helping Thraxa rebuild before entering Earth with his brother. So right there, those 2 months that he was, rebuilding Thraxa, do you think maybe that could be another like part of the storyline where, for a reasoning that we got that 4-month break as well, to make it feel like that there was a break,
like time has passed,
like there was a time pass in the show as well?
I don't know, man. But if it was 2 months in the show, why didn't they make it 2 months in real life?
Yeah.
But nah, man. Just let's just talk about the show. I'm sick of talking about the 4-month break.
That is part of the show.
No, it's not part of the show. The 4-month break is a fucking marketing move by goddamn Amazon. Let's just talk about what happened in the show.
Cecil reveals he successfully recovered Donald's brain and placed it in a robotic endoskeleton. That shit was crazy.
Yeah. No, I wasn't expecting that.
I was not expecting that at all. And then later finding out how many times he's actually died.
Yeah. I kind of thought he was going to be a clone until we saw him like peel back the metal in the part 1.
In part 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I like that we got more of Donald in this season.
Yeah, no, Donald was good.
He's a great character.
We saw like a great change in his character.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, I've always felt like he's just kind of like Cecil's bitch and does whatever he asks him to. But bro, he had some words to say to Cecil.
He wanted to learn some shit, and
but he learns that was his own call to do that.
Yeah. But I do love that we got a lot more background of Donald. I thought he was, like you said, not much to him in season 1, but still a very likable character.
Yeah, just a very what do you call it? Not a very when. Oh, there we go.
You thought of it?
Yeah, I thought of it. Just a very one-dimensional character.
Okay, yeah. The Guardians discover a Martian ship bound for Earth, prompting Shapesmith to reveal his identity and impending...
Even though they already knew.
Yeah. Sequid invasion.
Sequid
invasion, my bad. Yeah, again, I feel like there was just a lot of shit happening, and that was a really cool part.
Yeah.
But there were so many worldly threats in this season that kind of just got resolved pretty quickly.
I know, but I mean, I feel like...
But they had to have been.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like it's making the Guardians of the Globe like really step into their role.
Yeah.
Even more so than we've seen them do in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because, bro, I feel like the major superheroes deal with like world-ending threats a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And they had a lot of serious threats to deal with that they set up from season 1, even.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of setup in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sequid, that was set up at the end of season 1.
You're right. Yep. So after the Guardians do have to confront this problem, that leaves a few Guardians back on Earth to
deal with the Lizard League.
Yep. The members Rex, Kate, and Shrinking Ray confront the Lizard League after they capture a military base to ransom its nuclear missiles, resulting in Kate's apparent death, Ray getting devoured, and Rex losing a hand and being held at gunpoint by King Lizard.
That was the end. Was the gun on Rex's head? And then they ended that episode
because we thought Rex was gonna die. Yeah.
No. Yeah. He didn't even pull the trigger yet.
No.
He squeezed it.
Yeah.
But that was where they cut it.
That was a wild scene.
That was.
And
dude, I've never been so devastated. I was like, bro, Kate's dead. Shrinking Ray's dead. Rex is about to die.
They got fucked up.
They got so fucked up.
And it was funny because at this moment, with this scene alone, because of that 4-month hiatus, I low-key forgot how gory this show can get.
It's so nasty.
And this scene right here, man.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, and that big guy, oh my God. He was
a problem.
He was a problem.
Completely eating Shrinking Ray.
I think the Shrinking Ray part was like the grossest to me. That was like the grossest.
I don't know, man.
Because like here I am. I'm like, here I Shrinking Ray goes in his head. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. That's her power. She's going to go in, get bigger, and fucking kill him. I'm like, cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Nope.
He absorbs that shit.
She wasn't strong enough to break out, and she ended up breaking like every bone in her body. Oh my God.
A lot of bones in his body too.
Not really.
I don't know. But then seeing Kate get smashed by herself, her own clone.
Her getting smashed was...
I knew once she was in trouble. I was like,
when she was saying help, I was like, Kate's done.
Like, I got a feeling she's done, man. But in this post-credit scene, we see Alan recovers from his injuries, despite
stronger and better than ever. Yeah,
despite Thetis ending his life support and has become as strong as a Viltrumite.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to see that Alan was still alive. But then this is also when Thetis reveals that he is a rebel Viltrumite and tasks Alan with recruiting Mark to aid the coalition against the Viltrum Empire.
Yeah, and I thought Thetis was evil.
I did too.
Because he turned off his life support.
Yes, from what we saw in part 1, I was like, oh, this motherfucker.
Yeah, he just killed Alan.
Yeah.
But he did that because he was like, either he's gonna die or he's gonna come back stronger than ever.
And obviously we didn't know that, so that was a surprise to see.
Yeah. I'm curious about like the sci-fi science behind that. Like, why did he think that was gonna happen?
Why he thought he was
why did he think?
Well, that was again, I know neither of us had read the comics, but wasn't it because so with whatever species Alan is, that's like a thing is like if they're on the brink of death, they're either gonna die or rebuild even stronger. Kind of almost like almost like a doomsday thing. Like whatever is gonna kill you or almost kill you makes you stronger.
I get that, and also I think Viltrumites are also similar in that way. Like Viltrumites, like I think they get stronger if they like get near the brink of death and then they recover from it.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I'm not sure about the science fiction explanation behind that, but whatever. I'm glad it happened. But dude, he's so funny too.
I love Alan.
He's so funny.
Alan's become one of my favorite characters in the show. And I'm not a huge fan of Seth Rogen as a voice actor.
Yeah.
But
he plays him perfect.
Yeah, I've been enjoying his voice acting as Alan a lot in this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always found Seth Rogen a funny actor. I love his movies, Superbad, This Is the End, all that shit. But yeah, I'm really enjoying him as Alan.
Bro, he literally breathed. He like exhaled and broke his machine. And then he just sits up. He's like, oh, that looked expensive.
Dude, I love how strong he is now.
Dude, he's so strong.
He's so fucking strong.
Bro, he could fuck up a Viltrumite now.
He could. And that was so funny when he ran into the Viltrumites later.
Yeah.
What'd he say? He was like, I forgot what he said.
Wait, when he ran into who?
When he ran into the Viltrumites later in the season.
Leader?
No, when he ran into the Viltrumite later.
I was like, leader. What leader did he run into?
No,
yeah,
the girl.
Anissa?
I don't know who, but I forgot what he was saying.
I think her name's Anissa.
Oh,
you're talking about the one that fought Mark.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the same
I
person.
think so. Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, that hurt a lot more last time.
Yeah. But dude, honestly, I will say this though. Think about what that says about him as a character. So this man lost his entire planet to the Viltrumites. He has never been strong enough to like go toe to toe with one. He is now strong enough to do that for the very first time and chooses to fake losing the battle instead to find Omni-Man instead of like absolutely taking advantage of his newfound power. That takes a lot of restraint.
As Alex says, you're cooking.
Yeah.
That good.
Think about the restraint he had to have to not just go ballistic.
No, for sure.
On Anissa.
For sure. Putting the bigger picture ahead of his own emotions.
Yes. So he could get to Omni-Man.
Knowing that he has to find Omni-Man.
Yes.
And for Mark's sake too. Wow. That's why Alan's such a great character.
Dude, he's great. He's like, he just like genuinely wants to do good.
Yeah.
He's just like such a good guy.
Yeah. No, he's a very likable character. Again, like I said earlier, been really enjoying Seth Rogen's voice acting as him.
And then he saw Omni-Man in the prison. He's like, I'm here for you, man.
Yeah. I love that he can, like
telepathically
talk to other people.
Yeah.
And it's only to who he wants to talk to as well. I can't wait to see what he does in season 3.
Dude, he's going to take off.
Yeah.
He's going to take off.
He's going to be
I can't wait for just a big battle with Omni-Man, Mark, and Alan.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
That's going to be good. All right, so that's how episode 5 ends. We move on to episode 6. First thing we see, Rex survives being shot and defeats King Lizard before he and Ray are recovered and treated for their injuries.
Yeah.
Man, this was like the first time that we see Rex be like a fucking badass.
Dude, what? I am so curious about like his durability as a superhero. Like I have no clue. I'm like, because whenever I've looked at him, I've always thought he's like so weak. Yeah. I've always thought he's a very weak character. Like, and to be honest, it like surprised me that he made the Guardians of the Globe team. Cause I'm like, bro, he's literally he's just Gambit.
Definitely like the weakest of the Guardians.
Yeah. He's just like Gambit. Like how is he surviving, this shit? But yeah, bro, he gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
And gets up.
And his arm chopped
off. And his arm bit off.
That's even worse.
Yeah. Dude, and did you notice the way he killed him?
Oh yeah.
He bit his hand.
Yeah.
His hand exploded in his mouth. That's how he died. I don't know if he made his hand the part that glue up, or if he had, I can't remember if he had something in his hand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But then did you see like the way that he killed the Lizard King as well?
Yeah, he was punching him with his bone.
Yes, with his
sharp,
fucked up bone.
I think Rex is just like the most insane. Like he's just like kind of insane, and he goes crazy, and it's like his insanity is like part of his power.
And Rex has definitely been portrayed throughout the seasons as an unlikable character. You still like him, but like his character is a douche.
Yeah, he's a dick to people.
Yeah.
But we're starting he's a very crude character.
Yeah, but we're starting to see,
after that near death experience, he's like, God, I just am a total ass. And I'm liking to see his personality change for sure.
Little character arc we got going on for Rex. The Guardians narrowly escape the Sequids and rescue the real Russ. That was an interesting battle too that they had on that ship with the Sequids.
Dude, the Sequids are scary.
They were.
They didn't know if they were going to win that fight.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I will say that's one thing this show does very well is like keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to happen. To be honest, I was surprised that Shrinking Ray and
Kate
ended up coming back.
You know what? I agree because I definitely thought I
thought Kate was done.
I thought we were going to lose someone, man.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you gotta kill off a likable character, kill off someone to really make you feel that impact of the show. So yeah, I was definitely shocked to to find out that they were alive.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that makes sense especially with Kate, that she always keeps a spare.
Yeah.
Like, because to be honest, if you can make duplicates of yourself, you'd be kind of like the dumbest person for dying with that power when you can just keep keep a separate clone like
across the world.
Yes, like in a safe place where it's not even gonna affect anything.
Which she did.
Which
was very smart.
But nobody else knew that.
No.
So
Debbie decides to raise Mark's half brother and names him Oliver. And yeah, I feel like that's a whole nother part of the show that you don't forget about, because obviously Mark's half brother is a big part.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe just the fact that like Omni-Man had a legit whole ass other family during this season.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of forget about that, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This was good to, obviously it was tough for his mom at first, but it definitely adds,
She doesn't look at it as Omni-Man's son, the man who betrayed me and basically like lied to me my entire life. She looks at it as, this is Mark's brother. Mark, my son, who I love.
I'm still curious to see. It's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do.
Yeah.
His power set.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that.
Because he's grow faster.
He's going to grow fast.
Yeah.
So he'll probably, honestly, I say he'll be like 12 or something.
Well, that's the thing. I wonder how much time is going to pass between season 3 and season 2.
I've been thinking about that too. I'm like, is there ever going to be a time jump in this show at some point?
And I will say, I think the showrunner for Invincible said that he wants every episode in season 3 to feel like a finale. I feel like season 3 is going to be pretty wild.
That's hard to do.
So in this episode as well, Mark and Amber's relationship becomes strained when both realize the toll that Mark's work as Invincible has taken on their lives. Eve's feelings for Mark begin to resurface, and Amber goes and speaks to Eve while Mark talks to Rosenbaum, who reveals Nolan previously wrote several unsuccessful sci-fi novels. So we'll get to that in a second, but yeah, finally start to see, what it's like being in a relationship with a superhero.
Yeah.
We all know. We've seen this.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. It never goes well for a normal person to be in a relationship with a superhero. Because you are always going to be the weak link. You are always going to be the target of their villains if they figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And honestly, in Mark's case, it feels like every like extraterrestrial threat, it's very easy for them to figure out who he is and like who he cares about. Yeah, they're very smart. And yeah, their technology is advanced.
Yeah.
They can find them. They can find him easily.
Even with Angstrom, like there's the multiverse, so he knows all these different versions of Mark.
Yeah, he said, he was like, did you know like in more than half the universes, your identity is public? Like, so that wasn't even a question to figure out where he was in this universe. So yeah, man, being the spouse of a superhero sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
And while I've never had any issues with that relationship, I think the popular consensus, I've never had any issues, but I think the popular consensus is that people want to see Mark and Eve together.
Better.
It's definitely better.
Also, if you know anything about the comics at all, they end up together.
Right. You can get a sense that that's where it's going to end.
For sure. And I did think they made the right move at the end of the season when Mark was going to say something to her about that when future Eve was, said what she shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But when Mark was like about to say it and then he cut himself off, I think it was good that they waited for season 3 for that. And also that would have been so fast. Him and Amber like just had gotten,
I agree.
Just broken up. I'm like, Mark's not even ready for that.
The build-up's always nice. I mean, even look at Jim and Pam. We didn't get them together until season 4 of The Office. And then another problem. So Russ returns home, but is attacked and repossessed by a Sequid.
Yeah.
So again, another problem.
Another
for
Sequid
season
problem.
3.
Yeah, bro.
They're always creating problems.
Yeah. Bro, the Sequids are no joke.
Yeah.
They're like, and Mars knew that, and they were like so pissed at Shapesmith for being a dumbass.
Shapesmith was kind of funny.
He was funny, but bro, he is so irresponsible.
Yeah. Mark does learn about the sci-fi novels that Nolan had written.
Yeah.
During his time on Earth. And I thought this was really cool because, as we saw in the end of part 1, Nolan told Mark to read his books. And Mark couldn't really figure out, Debbie had thrown out the books, or at least what Mark thought had thrown out the books.
Yeah.
And his, costume designer had Nolan's sci-fi novels. And Mark is reading them, learning that, yeah, these are sci-fi novels, but these are actually true stories from his dad on other planets.
Yeah, obviously, like, kind of humanized.
Yeah.
Like, like, so it sounds like an adventure book, but like the creatures and stuff that he's talking about in them are actually real.
Ultimately, trying to find something that they can use to defeat the Viltrumites.
Yeah, just like, I think we actually see that. Remember the story about the guy with that gun?
Yes.
The story about the guy with the gun.
Yes.
We see Omni-Man get shot by a very powerful gun that kind of knocked him on his ass.
Yeah.
Not a lot of guns can do that.
No. There was also that planet where the gravity was a lot more dense, so it was hard for him to escape that.
And the Ragnars.
Yeah, and didn't they kill the other Viltrumites? Or they were beating the shit out of them, right?
Ragnars can fuck up a Viltrumite.
Yeah.
They're more powerful than Viltrumites.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I actually did. It's funny, like, before that episode, I did that, like, popped up on my TikTok. And the Ragnars are, like, one of the few species that were a problem.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right. See, in there, something that they can use in season 3.
Yeah.
But how? Again, I haven't read the comics, so I don't know. But
I don't know.
We'll see if they bring that back up, because obviously these sci-fi novels that Nolan written is the key.
To be honest, I think I will read the Invincible series, but dude, I want the show.
Yeah.
I want the show because I like not knowing anything.
You like the surprise factor.
Yeah. However, I do know that the comics differ pretty greatly from the show. There's a lot of differences, but
I did hear that the finale was pretty much shot for shot though of the comic.
Okay.
I did hear that.
Okay. So yeah, just like you with Dune, man. You wanted to see Dune. Right. Yeah, I like the surprise factor and not knowing what to expect.
No, for sure. Yeah, I want to
I want to experience it for the first time in the show.
Exactly. Episode 7, Mark and Amber attend a comic convention, but he leaves to help Rex, as Rex is dealing with what? Yet another problem. Jesus. Rex want to get back in the game so soon. This comic convention was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was almost like a slap in the face too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It was like also the guy who voiced that writer that was that Mark was a big fan of.
Yeah.
Voiced by Tim Robinson.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But basically they were saying, in animation, sometimes if you need to speed things along, that's why you see one of the characters talking but showing the back of their head.
Still shots of like a large crowd where they have like noise going, so it sounds like they're moving and talking, but they're not moving at all.
Sometimes if they
animators get carried away and add too much detail that it looks silly, and we see Mark with like the most detailed expression,
like
on
such
his
an
face.
Anime expression.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, motherfuckers. So it was finished.
Yeah. No, that shit was funny.
It was funny, but it was also like a slap in the face. All right, and this is the episode that we discover Donald discovers that he has died numerous times.
Yeah.
And that the original Donald ordered the memories to be erased. Nonetheless, he overcomes the trauma while dissuading Rick from committing suicide. And again,
even though that wouldn't have killed him.
Yeah, you're right, actually. I didn't even really
think about that
in the moment. But I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because of the 4-month hiatus. And you know what?
You're loving that word, hiatus. Huh?
Hiatus, I do like that word. Who's what was the name of the that serial killer who was like making those robots?
D.A. Sinclair.
Did you know Ezra Miller voiced him in season 1?
He did.
They did. No, he's not in season 1. No, he is in season 1.
Yeah, he's in season 1.
And
different voice actor
for season 2. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That man's been pretty canceled from Hollywood.
But then we find out Sinclair was the one building the motherfuckers for Cecil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that.
Did we?
Yeah.
When did
in season 1, he was using dead soldiers to make, remember the 3 things that they dropped on Omni-Man in the finale?
Oh yeah.
He was building those for Cecil.
Oh.
And when Omni-Man destroyed him, he got all pissed when he still had like his jaw thing, because he fucking knocked his jaw off, and he still had his thing, and he was like getting all pissed, and he's like get him out of here, like because Cecil said get him out of here, is freaking out.
Yeah.
And then like, and Cecil was like, he's like, I feel dirty even talking to you because he knows he's a piece of shit, but he's been using him.
Okay. I low-key forgot about that.
Yeah.
So when I saw Sinclair back on the screen, I was like, damn, my boy Donald trying to calm him down, knowing that Cecil is the one who fucked him up. Damn government.
Hey man, he built a useful device. Like, dude, those robots he made were no joke.
No, they weren't.
They gave Invincible a run for his money for sure.
Ooh, this next scene though, real good. So while on a date, Mark is confronted by the Viltrumite Anissa.
It is Anissa.
Yeah, who tries to remind him to have Earth join the Viltrumite Empire.
Yeah, another one trying to convince him, bro.
Yeah. When Mark abruptly leaves to save a cruise ship from a kaiju, Anissa joins him and effortlessly kills it, saving the passengers. Despite proving Earth's weakness, Anissa fails to convince Mark to complete his mission and grievously beats him before ultimately sparing him and leaving to report back to Craig. Krieg?
I
Krieg?
feel like it's Krieg.
Probably spelled like Craig with a K. Craig Krieg.
I don't know.
I honestly, I forget. Again, just another example how fucking powerful Viltrumites are. Ain't no joke. Again, though, Mark does hold back.
Yeah.
He does hold back.
We've been seeing him get his ass kicked so many times. And I've always wondered why. I'm like, is he like so much weaker because he's like half human?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even Omni-Man said, he's like, Viltrumite blood is so pure, you're nearly full-blooded. Like, he's not half human. Like, he's more Viltrumite than he is human.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Omni-Man made that clear.
Yeah. And like we saw in the finale of part 1, Omni-Man told him, you can't fight, you can't hold back. Like, you need to fight.
You need to fight like
kill.
a Viltrumite.
You need to fight to kill. And that's the only way you're going to survive.
Yeah.
And then we see him start stepping it up in part 1.
Yeah. And he had her on the ropes.
He did.
And then he hesitated and she stabbed him.
Yeah. That hesitation. So.
Oh, shout out. What's voice actor? Sarah Gray? Is that her name?
Oh, no. Or
who voiced that woman with the knife hair?
I don't know. It's the same voice actor as Azula.
Yeah.
You're talking about her?
Yeah.
You know, she also voices the little girl, Monster Girl.
Yeah. Gray Delisle.
Gray Delisle. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's a great voice actor.
Yeah.
She also was the ponytailed lady?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I could just hear it in like her grunting.
Yeah.
And yeah, like her like evil scream, like or like, you know, like her grunting when she attacked, like that sounded exactly like Azula.
That is something a lot of animated shows will do. Is they'll have the same voice actor voice multiple characters, just like how they have Clancy Brown voice that Viltrumite leader,
Damien Darkblood,
and that demon detective.
Yeah, Damien Darkblood.
Yeah, Damien Darkblood.
Yeah, no, she does a lot of good performances.
Yes, but this was the final straw for Mark and Amber's relationship.
Yeah. Dude, that was so threatening.
That was.
He's like, she had her freaking neck in her hands.
Could have snapped it easily before Mark even tried anything.
Mm-hmm. She said, you're welcome to try. Bro, that shit is terrifying.
And like, imagine being in Amber's shoes. Like, oh my God, pissing myself.
You can literally do nothing.
No.
Like, literally nothing.
Literally nothing. And
your life is in the hands of somebody that dangerous.
That could snap your neck
without even blinking.
Like breaking a pencil.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that Amber's really felt that threat of dating Mark.
Yes.
Because obviously she's had to deal with.
She's been around threats before,
and she's
but nothing that directly was aimed at her.
At her life, yeah. And, you know, she's had to deal with Mark going off on month-long missions and all this stuff, and having to lie to people.
She's been experiencing the lonely part of it,
yeah,
but she hasn't experienced the danger part of it.
Yeah,
like that. That was like a new level for her.
That was a terrifying scene.
Bro, and not only that, like imagine that happening to you and then your boyfriend who's supposed to protect you, who didn't protect you in that instance, only got to comfort you for like 5 seconds and then had to go meet the person that just threatened your life.
Yeah.
So she's alone by herself after that to deal with what just happened while he goes and talks to that person. Yeah.
So after they break up, Mark is called by who he thinks is his mom, and it is Angstrom, who has taken Debbie and Oliver hostage.
And that's where we end this episode, right?
That's where we end episode 7.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, okay, about fucking time we get Angstrom back in the picture.
Seriously, yeah.
That was the first time in all of part 2 that we had seen him. Am I right? I believe I'm right.
Kind of, yeah. I thought he was going to be much more involved. For
yes.
Sure.
This is where I low-key forgot about him.
I didn't forget about him.
I low-key maybe not forget about him, but I was like, about fucking time, man.
Yeah. No, that's definitely where the 4-month break hurt the most, for sure. But to be honest, I feel like Angstrom wasn't supposed to be the main, like a major villain. I don't think he was. Like, his purpose was literally just to push Mark to the edge, which is what we see in episode 8.
Absolutely. However, if you're going to go ahead and open the multiverse, though, and bring the multiverse into the picture,
yes,
I feel like that is adding a pretty big storyline.
It is.
Maybe I'm inflating that storyline because of, you know, the Marvel comics and the DC comics.
The multiverse ended up being like a major focus. Correct. And that was not a focus at all, really, for this. Right. It was like we stayed in our universe for the most part.
Yeah.
To be honest, I liked that because I think opening the multiverse I think it makes things messy.
Very convoluted.
Yes. And I was like, is Mark going to fight an evil Mark now? To be honest.
Well, however, that would be interesting.
It would be, but I liked the universe we were already in. I didn't feel the need to open it up. So even though they did, show that multiversal travel is a thing, I liked that we stayed where we were.
Because I feel like that book opened and closed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the main storyline is Viltrumites taking over Earth.
Yeah.
And how, knowing how to stop them.
I wonder if Viltrumites even know about the multiverse. They probably do.
They probably do.
And
they gotta.
See, but my question is, if they know about it, are they trying to conquer other planets
multiverses?
In another universe? Or do they only care about this universe?
Yeah, because they can't. Yeah, we've seen that they're in other universes.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, wouldn't the Viltrumites from our universe, from the one universe that we know, wouldn't they want to conquer other ones?
Right.
Because they're just like, that's what they do. They conquer. I don't know. Anyway, forget that. Let's just move on to episode 8.
All right. So Mark returns home to so here we are, the finale. Mark returns home to confront Angstrom as he threatens Debbie and Oliver. Angstrom retaliates by sending Mark across the multiverse to weaken him. This is pretty interesting too. So we see Mark getting sent into other multiverses. Everyone was saying like, "Oh, are we gonna get a Spider-Man in the Invincible finale?" We pretty much do.
Yeah, we do.
It's fucking Spider-Man. We come across Agent Spider, which Robert Kirkman says Marvel wasn't told about the Agent Spider cameo in Invincible. Quotes, "I'm pretty sure Marvel found out about it when it aired. We didn't call any Marvel lawyers or anything." When they were creating the Agent Spider 2, they had to be real keen on, making sure they didn't use this color and that color.
Yeah.
But yes, clearly a Spider-Man reference, as also he was voiced by a Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yes.
The voice of Spectacular Spider-Man being Josh Keaton, who also came in to voice Agent Spider.
Yeah.
And bro, he's clearly...
I low-key wanted it to be Yuri.
Yuri Lowenthal?
Yeah.
I mean, they were going to
get... Still a great voice actor for...
They were going to get someone who played Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, that's so funny.
As he's clearly battling a Doc Ock.
Yes. Yeah. It's literally Doc Ock.
We also get the... Batman reference.
Yeah.
And I saw somewhere in the tweet that one of the showrunners said, no, it wasn't Batman who we were referring to. I'm like, all right, let's be for real.
It's Batman.
That's fucking Batman.
It's fucking Batman.
Like, who else would it be?
Them being aware of like the other universes is pretty funny. I feel their entire show is literally a parody on like the DC universe.
Yeah.
With the Justice League. So it's just funny how aware they are of that.
Debbie tries to convince Angstrom to let Mark go, but he refuses, emboldened by the memories of his variants and their Mark's murderous actions. Yeah, so now we are seeing variants of Mark through Angstrom's mind. And like you said earlier, and more than half of the universes that Mark is in, he's fucking evil.
Yeah.
And
I was talking about his identity being public is what he said about that.
Oh, you're right.
But he is evil in a lot of universes.
Yeah, no, I think it's more than half. It's like almost all other universes, Mark is evil.
Yeah.
So again, showing how special this Mark is.
Yeah.
And how special this universe is that we're in, our primary universe, which yes, I'm glad, like you said, that we do stay primarily in this universe.
Yeah.
That's some pretty fucked up scenes that we see of Mark.
Dude, he
because we
kills
see
his son right in front of him.
Yeah, he kills Angstrom's son in one universe.
Yeah.
And he's like, what did he say?
He was like, I'll do you a favor. I'll make it quick or something like that.
Yeah.
That was him being merciful.
Yeah. I was like, God damn.
Bro, Mark was honestly, that version of Mark was terrifying.
It was.
Shit.
That was a cool outfit too. He had the cape on.
With the yellow and black.
Yeah. So that's why I said earlier, I wouldn't mind seeing a Mark versus Mark situation.
I'd like to see more of that Mark.
Yeah.
Like
that Mark, yeah.
That Mark was scary.
Mm-hmm. Debbie attacks Angstrom, who breaks her arm.
Bro, that was gruesome.
That was gruesome. And beats her. Mark returns, enraged, obviously, by his mother's injuries, battles Angstrom across multiple dimensions before beating him to death.
Yeah.
Stranding himself in a desolate dimension. This battle between Angstrom, pretty fucking intense.
It was, bro. Like, honestly, and there were so many times, like, when they were fighting in the house, I'm like, okay, he's got him.
Yeah.
But then, boom, right through another portal.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was a slippery slope. Like, it was hard for him to really get a handle on him, because if he could, when he would go after him, it was either he gets sent into another dimension,
mm-hmm.
or he does something to threaten his mother and brother's life.
Yeah.
That would force him to either go in another dimension or like back off on his attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally he just like got the jump on him.
Mm-hmm.
When he came back, he was like just ready to go as soon as he came through that portal and punched him right in the face.
Well, Angstrom was putting up a fight too.
Yeah.
As Angstrom was saying,
he improved his body.
Yes.
Yeah. The same doctors that put me together, they made me stronger, whatever. To Mark, that was like, okay, then maybe I can let loose on you a little bit. And but I think it was much more than that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was just him being like convinced that he was strong enough to handle the punches.
No.
This was
the parallels.
This was scary for Mark.
Yes, the parallels between Mark in season 2 finale and Omni-Man in the season 1 finale.
Yeah.
Again, throughout this whole show, the main thing that he wants to reiterate to everyone is that he's not his dad.
Yeah.
He's not Omni-Man.
Yeah.
And this scared Mark.
Yeah.
Telling Cecil later in the episode, you weren't there, as Cecil keeps trying to tell him, you're not your dad. You know, you had to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
And maybe a little double entendre when he's telling him, when he's, you know, basically talking to Angstrom's bashed in brains, I thought you were stronger.
Yeah.
Was he talking to himself as well?
He could
like telling himself, Mark, I thought you were stronger to, you know,
I mean,
hold your punches, like strong enough to not go to that level.
You could go down that road.
You could.
But he does say, I thought you were stronger.
To make himself feel better.
You said you were stronger.
Yeah.
He was talking about Angstrom claiming that his body was stronger.
Yeah.
But
you could go down that path.
I think what this really broke down to is like, dude, he just snapped.
He did.
He just snapped. That wasn't it. It wasn't about Angstrom being stronger, thinking that he could take the punches. He even said himself on that planet, he was like, I wanted to do that. Like he did say he wanted to do that. And it was but at the same time, he didn't have a choice, because Angstrom was not going to stop. There was no convincing Angstrom. There was no, you know, knocking him out or something like that. Like there was, because that's somebody that can literally be anywhere and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no imprisoning that guy.
I think the fact too that, you know, does Mark learn that in a lot of other universes he is evil?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think he was getting sent to those.
Okay, because I was about to say, was Mark so upset at himself as well because he had learned how many other universes that he might have been evil with?
I think if that were to happen, he'd be a lot more beat up from fight. I feel like he would have fought versions of himself. You know what I mean?
Right. But I'm saying like Debbie and Debbie learned this because she was seeing what was, you know, in Angstrom's mind. So I wasn't remembering.
Was she seeing that?
Yes.
Or was he?
No. We were seeing that.
Yeah, he was talking about it.
He was talking about it. We were seeing it. So I wasn't sure if Mark was there when he was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Was he? No.
When he was talking about what?
When Angstrom was talking about how evil.
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
Most of the dialogue between Debbie and Angstrom was when Mark was in a different universe.
Okay. Yeah. So again, that's why I was like, was he that upset because he had learned about that and he didn't want to fall to the fate of those other marks and those other universes. But again, he doesn't want to fall to the level of Omni-Man. As he's said throughout this whole season, he doesn't want to be like his dad anymore.
And he was just thinking about, honestly, those flashbacks to the earlier seasons where he's like, I want to do what you do. I want to be just like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were good flashbacks.
And then Omni-Man answering him, you will, son. And little did he know what that meant.
Yeah.
So now that thought is just like always in his mind. Because now everything he ever wanted was to be like his dad. And now if that ever comes true, he's going to be terrified of himself.
The parallels are great.
It's so good.
We never do see what Angstrom ends up looking like in the show. I did see a picture in the comics. You do see what he looks like after that beating.
Fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't pretty. So Mark is trapped. He gets saved by another group of Guardians.
No, it was his universe's future Guardians without him.
That's cool.
In their timeline, he never came back from that planet. So they worked on time travel and dimension travel to bring him back to their timeline moments later after the fight.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And obviously we see this is where Eve tells Mark.
And Eve confesses her love for Invincible. And
she's like, don't say anything to me, tell her.
Yeah, tell her.
Get a good post-credit scene for this one too. That is really going to have us lead into season 3. So Alan...
That was with Alan and Omni-Man in prison.
Alan is sent to a Viltrumite prison where Nolan is being held and proposes he joins the fight against them. Nolan reveals his guilt for his actions and admits that he misses his wife. That's the final scene in season 2 of Invincible. Man, what a fucking redemption arc going on for Omni-Man.
Dude, what a turnaround. Like, I was just like...
Dude, I thought there was no going back.
I know. And just with... I think it was just the sight of his son, just a bloody pulp in front of him.
Yeah.
And him being the one who did it.
Yeah.
Like, he just, I don't know what made it click, but it just clicked in his head like, this is wrong.
Yeah. And it does make sense for Omni-Man to have a redemption arc over, say, Homelander and the boys for having a redemption arc, because you could say Omni-Man and Homelander have been compared a lot over the last few years, being the antagonists of their shows. So, I mean, does it make you wonder, though, is there any redemption arc there for Homelander?
No. He has no sense of, I was going to say he has no sense of family, but I mean, he does. Like, honestly, family is the most important part to him. What is Homelander's end goal here?
I don't know.
He wants to be loved by people.
But he wants to be feared by people.
No. He wants to be loved more than...
He said he wants to be loved more than feared,
but he's okay with being feared.
A-okay.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, but being feared is A-okay with me. It does make sense more, though, for Omni-Man, being that he actually does have a family.
Yeah.
And in a real relationship with his son and his wife. I was not expecting this big of a redemption arc from him in this season. And that him alone, and he was even shocked at what he said, that he misses his wife.
Yeah.
I wonder if do you think Debbie will take him back if that were to happen?
I don't think they're ever going to be back together.
Maybe forgiven?
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
I don't know about forgiven either.
Right? He killed so many people.
They might reconcile, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what. That'll be an emotional reunion if that does happen.
I think it would happen.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to happen at this point. I feel like that would just be such a great scene.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we even saw how many mixed emotions that Mark had in episode 4. Bro, he couldn't decide if he was going to fucking hug him or punch him right in the face. There's a lot of conflicting things here.
There is.
And honestly, it was just such a quick turnaround with Omni-Man. He went from killing so many humans because they have such a short lifespan and they're weak to marrying a
species,
a Thraxan who only lives for a year.
Yeah.
That was just wild.
And how emotional he was when the Viltrumite destroyed that planet.
Yeah. The change is drastic. I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that coming.
Didn't see it coming, but I've been enjoying it.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like
if we can just get more.
I think it's literally just because he's like thinking for himself for once instead of just doing what the Empire's asked of him.
Yeah. The more J.K. Simmons we get, I'm fine with fucking love J.K. Simmons.
He's so good.
He is so good. That is another thing too about this show. The voice acting has been amazing.
Mm-hmm. When I listen to J.K. Simmons though, all I hear is like Tenzin and Korra.
Really?
Yeah, he does Tenzin too.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just such a recognizable voice.
Mm-hmm.
But the voice acting in general is great. Like Steven Yeun, as Mark, fantastic.
Dude, there's so many emotional scenes in this show.
He is definitely such an underrated actor.
Yeah.
And has had an amazing past few years between Invincible, between that show Beef that came out on Netflix last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a long career on The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Shows us that he does have comedic side to him with some episodes in Beef and with a skit, and I think you should leave.
Yes. Love that shit.
The movie Minari, just what a last 3 to 4 years he's had.
He's had a good run.
He's had
past
a fantastic run. So yeah, overall, I would give season 2 a 9 out of 10. Slightly under season 1. Mm-hmm. I still think season 1 was better. Animation looked great.
You could definitely tell they got an increase in budget.
They did, yeah, for sure. You could tell, especially when you saw the flashbacks of Omni-Man beating up Mark.
Yeah.
Great season. A lot of shit did go on that I do think some storylines were kind of overlooked, maybe not used as much. So that's why I can't put it above season 1. And again, because some storylines were overlooked, that's why I do think that 4-month hiatus really did hurt.
Yes. And I mean, but also just like the strength of the story in season 1, like your supposed Superman of this universe killed every other major hero.
And he's the father of our main character.
Yes. Yeah. And he's, and his mission is to conquer this planet. Like just like that base story alone.
It's a great story.
Is just so drastically different from your classic superhero comic.
Yeah.
So I think that's why season 1 was just so good.
Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, I just wish that we did get more of Angstrom. Completely,
If they just like threw him in like one more time, just to remind us like, hey, he's here.
Yeah, just maybe like
he's doing something.
Just maybe like 5 to 10 minutes of him in another episode.
Yeah.
But still, it's an amazing season.
However, I will say this though.
Okay.
Mark didn't remember him either. So maybe that was part of it. He was like, oh, you're that guy.
Right.
Like this is Angstrom's main villain that he has such a vengeance for.
Right.
And he's like, you're that guy.
Yeah.
And I think that just like shows that Mark doesn't even realize the implications of his actions sometimes.
Maybe I get that. But I'm not saying that we needed more scenes of him and Mark. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. Like we as an audience shouldn't have forgotten him.
Right.
Like Mark did.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
All in all, great season. 4-month hiatus. Fuck you.
Yeah. You're loving that word. Never heard you say that word in my life.
Hiatus? I mean, what do you want me to call it? 4-month break?
Yes.
4-month break. Fuck you. I think hiatus just sounds more educational.
Okay. Yeah, he just
wants I'm trying to be educational.
He wants to go all film, bro. Yeah, Blake tries to expand his vocabulary.
I'm trying to expand my vocabulary,
the most
dog.
on the podcast.
Yo.
He doesn't talk like this in real life.
Sometimes. Whatever.
But yeah, the great season. I'm giving it a 9.1. I think it's just a notch above a 9.
Notch above a 9. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Just peak storytelling. Yeah, as always.
Invincible and The Boys, like Amazon has locked in the 2 best superhero shows out right now.
Yeah.
Like across the board between Marvel, DC. Do they have any TV shows out right now?
You know what? I'm going to just say best superhero shows ever.
Really?
Yeah. Because I genuinely can't think of another one. Like I wouldn't put Flash above this. I wouldn't put, like there's a lot of CW shows that, there's a lot of CW superhero shows that I wouldn't even put in competition.
Yeah.
Peacemaker, as far as quality, is another really good superhero show, but I wouldn't put it on this level either.
What about of all time? is Invincible and The Boys better than all the other TV shows that we gotten between Loki, Daredevil?
I feel like the only shows that could compete would be the Netflix Marvel shows. Those were great.
Yeah. Agents of Shield.
Agents of Shield, that's like one of your classic long running.
Yeah.
Not to say that Agents of Shield is bad, but it is a very formulaic show, which I feel like can take away from the quality sometimes because it's like your 22 episode type of show.
Dude, honestly,
so I would say Daredevil. I would say if Punisher season 2 was as good as season 1, I loved Punisher so much. Then I would say that is maybe in contention as well. But I would say Daredevil is possibly the only show that could compete with The Boys and Invincible.
Superhero wise.
Yes.
But I feel like you're still going to put Invincible and The Boys higher.
Yeah, no, I feel like I would too.
Yeah. Amazon,
just like the quality per episode is crazy.
Yeah, no, Amazon has the 2 best superhero shows ever.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy that they got those 2. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I like the variation too between we got an animated one and we got a live action one.
Yeah.
And they're fucking amazing.
They're both so good.
So good. So it's been peak storytelling.
Like I'm thinking Young Justice is a great DC that's a great DC animated show.
Mm-hmm.
And you have so many good Marvel animated shows. X-Men 97, if they keep going the way they're going,
it's really good.
They're doing really good too. But I mean, I just think
what about like the Spectacular Spider-Man show?
See, but like all of these are like shows designed for
a certain audience.
Yes, like especially designed for kids. Like I like that these are both adult superhero shows, which is very unique. And it just keeps me on my toes, like as if I'm watching like Game of Thrones or something
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as if I'm watching Game of Thrones. Like you never knew when somebody was going to die that you cared about.
Yeah.
And
that's what I loved about it too.
And that's what I like about these shows.
Yeah.
So like you just never know what's going to happen.
Nope.
To be honest, I thought somebody should have died in The Boys last season.
Oh yeah.
Like Maeve. Queen Maeve, I feel like should have been dead. Yeah. I feel like she should have been dead.
Yeah, probably.
But it's all right. They're both just peak superhero shows.
For real.
All right. But yeah, 9.1. Loved it. Looking forward to season 3 as usual. They claim it's going to come out next year. I'll believe it when I see it. Because God, fucking 3 years, bro, to get a whole season.
Yeah.
A whole nother season out of it. Season 3 was approved with season 2 though.
Yes.
So they should have been working on this with season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick of fucking waiting forever for TV shows to come out.
I know. I haven't been a fan of
bro. It's like
TV shows.
It's like a 2-year minimum.
Oh yeah, 2-year minimum, 2 to 3 years, bro.
Yeah.
Look at fucking. I know this is more about scheduling conflicts and stuff. They shouldn't even make a Euphoria season 3 at this point. I haven't even watched Euphoria.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to be till 2025 that they could even get probably season 3 out. Maybe even 2026. I'm like, at that point, that's like 4 years. Don't even fucking do it.
Yeah,
don't even do it.
It's ridiculous.
I think this is again what
streaming.
Yes, I do think streaming has been the reasoning for this. Now, yes, it is an animated show. It's going to take its time. Some of these other shows, heavy visual effects like Stranger Things. But I mean, come on.
See, and also here's the other thing. And again, animated show, but it got approved for season 2 and 3. Invincible has proved that it can hold up to its season 1. It's a fucking fantastic show. Yeah. The storytelling is there. Everybody loves it who has watched this show. And if I swear to God, if Amazon is like, oh, well, you took a hit, this season with viewers, maybe because you fucking took a 4-month break, that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Like season 4 or 5, approve now. Approve it now so they can fucking work on it.
How many seasons do you think they're going to be? They said, didn't they say like 4 or 5?
No, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. But like approve those now. And like, if you release season 3 in a year, I want 4 the year after that. And I want 5 the year after that. Done. Yeah. I am sick of fucking waiting. Cause at this pace, I think I saw somebody say, we're not getting the fucking finale of what they planned to do with the whole story, till fucking 2032. No. I'm not waiting till 2032 if they stay on this pace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like seriously, if the next season takes over 3 years, I might just say fuck you. And I feel like we deserve to say fuck you to Amazon.
Well, yeah.
No matter how good that show is.
At that point, you're going to lose your audience.
You are.
You are going to lose your audience.
Bro, I'm going to be a fucking married father who doesn't even have time to watch this shit anymore.
Yeah. I don't think they'll do that. That's fucked up.
My God, bro. I'm a fucking 23-year-old kid. Let me enjoy this show while I'm young.
All right, you heard it here first.
Yep. Sick of fucking waiting. It's a but Invincible, great show as always. Great season. Held
Fantastic
up.
Show.
Not as good as season 1. We've been saying that a lot, but
still on par.
Still
right below it.
Yep.
So that's going to do it for this review of Invincible Season 2, Part 2. If you stuck around to the end of the video, make sure you are leaving us a rating and review wherever you're listening to this. Make sure to go follow us on YouTube. If you want to see the full video, it will be on there.
Yeah, just look us up anywhere. Follow us on all those other accounts. I'm not going to list them. We're not going to list them all this time. I'm sick of hearing them list them. You know where they are.
Yeah, you know where they are. Again, as well, we will be going live every Tuesday and Thursday around 7 p.m. So make sure you join us for our lives as well. Great way to interact with y'all. But that's going to do it for this review of Invincible. As always, with me, my co-host Garrett, and we'll see you next time on Blake's Takes.
See you guys.